we envisioned was a team of about 12 people coming here, half military veterans, half business executives. The military veterans being in more comfortable surrounding in the wilderness, the business executives being in an unfamiliar surrounding. So really what it was about is taking two different types of people out of their comfort zones to where the magic happens. And in order to do that, we felt like we had to put them all into a crucible, a very grueling, grinding, difficult experience where they needed to be selfless and rely on each other. They needed to be adventurous because there's a certain amount of risk, just like there is in the business world. And they had to have heroic aspirations to do great things in the world in the service of others.
And we all can learn from each other in an intense but also fun and supportive environment.
It's the chance to get to know other people, see how I can help.
And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to get out of this, but I know stretching yourself at some level, doing something you've never done before, you always learn something.
I'm really excited to learn a lot, and I'm about myself and what I'm capable of.
We're all mobilizing from all over the world, and we're going to bring with us all of our gear, so all of our food, all of our clothing, and everything that we need to survive out in the wilderness for 6 days. And so on this expedition, we'll be out in some environmental pressures that we might not be aware of. It could snow, it could rain. We're gonna have to be prepared for everything.
This is gonna be hard. There's no backing out, right? Once we're up there and going around, you can't say, hey, I've had enough, I'm gonna go home.
There's a lot of teamwork involved in what we're getting ready to do.
Everybody's gonna be empowered with a position sometime during this trip. You need to allow them to make a mistake if it's not going to endanger everybody. That's the only way they're going to learn.
I'm not getting much, but I can carry large, heavy objects over long distances.
I'm a business guy, no military experience, no outdoors experience to speak of.
Another business guy.
Nice.
I've got no military experience either.
I've got to carry heavy things, and I'm always down for the patrol.
I mean, this is an amazing opportunity for me to learn from some of the best in terms of training and development.
Team player, make sure nobody's sucking anymore and everybody else has to.
The first en route checkpoint is going to be this trail intersection.
This is actually day one of the trek.
Maybe do a glacial polar bear plunge or something like that.
So much shit so unprepared.
Yeah, these are, I feel like these are.
Okay, yeah.
You buried
snow.
in
We
the
put
snow.
it in snow? Yeah, you buried in snow.
We got our backpacks out and ready. It's about to begin.
We're about to step into the Patagonia. I mean, that's like the place that outdoor people would love to go to.
It is almost untouched still to this day.
I never thought I'd ever come here. It seemed too far, too unachievable, too mysterious.
When it came to leading others, we thought, boy, I think we've got an adaptable team, a collaborative team.
What are each person's individual talents, and how do we leverage them, and how do we be inclusive to build a team that takes all of the collective strengths to be most effective?
They figured out very quickly that they have shared values. And that's what's really helped, because now the trust is up and people are counting on each other.
We have to start with trust. We have to make sure that everyone understands they can rely on each other. We cannot leave anyone behind. We have to pace ourselves. We have to check in with each other.
You're miles and miles and days from help.
On day one of our biggest obstacles was the group dynamic and people working in pairs. But one of the things that we realized is that we had very clear communications and we were able to adapt and change.
You have a plan, but oftentimes things don't go according to plan. And that's fine. But what you have to do is manage expectations. So if you're saying that we're going to leave camp at 9 a.m. and we are delayed, but you don't say that we are delayed and why, the people in the team are going to lose trust and credibility in the agreements that we have.
I think we're really good about when we had breaks and we said, it's 5 minutes 45. I think
it's also helpful to tell people, hey, we're going to go for an hour.
Multiple times today we had 3 or 4 people with their stuff on ready to go, and other guys were still packing stuff. So you got to do your own kind of, hey, you gave me 15 minutes, that's how long we're breaking. If I need more time, I got to tell them, but if not, you know, try to be ready for the group because they're moving out.
But they put the team first. That's what I expect of everybody here. Second thing is results. You have to deliver, perform, whatever you want to call it.
When we went over that nice flat thing, like everybody just took off, right? And then the group got super separated. Everybody was doing their own thing. And then as soon as we start getting a little bit more austere terrain, the group dynamic then slows down.
I'm concerned that not everybody's going to admit today that you know, that it was, you know, there's a little suck factor.
I went at my pace. I didn't go any faster than I wanted to go. It was when we were going like up steep hills, especially when I had to get my thigh up here and I got the big heavy pack on the back.
And as the terrain gets more austere, as the fatigue sets in, people get more distance from each other. People start going inward a whole lot more.
But in the business world, sometimes we ask people to do things and we think it's no big deal.
Exactly.
And they're scared shitless. They don't want to fail. They don't want to let you down. All this stuff. If you don't have good open communication, and the candor and all that stuff, it doesn't happen. And sometimes, even though you said, hey, everybody's got to talk, sometimes you got to pull teeth.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, and you can't pull teeth if there isn't trust. A bunch of badasses.
That's solid.
Yeah, huh? All right, guys.
Come on here, man.
Uno, dos, tres!
Hey.
When Jim was put in charge for the next day, I mean, that guy delegated, boom, 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 was done.
And it's kind of thing I'm going to try to aspire to is really look and see what the person wants and then assign tasks and responsibilities to their liking.
It shows there's a lot of crossover and correlation of how very successful leaders and people who are organized and who know how to delegate.
So we got to be really efficient with our brakes.
On day 2, we had a very tough climb, probably the hardest day as far as elevation gain, moving to a glacier on crampons. A fair amount of exposure from an elevation perspective where things could go horribly wrong. And what we noted was the positivity of the group was absolutely contagious.
Nice!
There wasn't anyone complaining about anyone else.
Everybody's had the most positive attitude, has been really willing to help each other out.
That positivity was really impressive to see.
Especially when we got harnessed in to do some of those rock climbs on dangerous spots.
You can do it!
Yeah, you can go whenever you're supposed to pull it. Yep.
It was even more nerve-wracking the fact that you got, 50 pounds on your back pulling you away from the wall and you're kind of holding on for dear life.
Look to the right of the spot, next spot. We're living in a 1 meter world. There you go. Stay in it. 1 meter at a time, brother.
Down close here.
We even had a little crevasse fall.
Started off, a little bit late. We moved a little slower because of me, in large part, but I appreciate that. I thought everyone stepped up and did their roles.
I think that your task organization, the delegation that you did as soon as you got in charge, was the element of success today.
I yelled up a couple times, like, just tell us what's going on so we can kind of frame our, what's going on. And in the business world, I see the same thing. There is never enough communication. How are we going to communicate? The wind was howling. You could barely hear from one person to the next, which was only about 10 meters. But you have to start with the basis of trust. We had those 3 days in town where we all got to know each other. Maybe part of it is, setting a really hard goal for the team. I don't think we set hard enough goals, because I think when you do something hard as a team, you bond.
Day 3?
On day 3, It was an incredibly long day on the snow, up on top of the glacier, in snowshoes. And we were roped in, 2 teams of 6. And you were roped in and you had to keep a certain distance. And you think about that, gosh, that really requires a lot of teamwork. And you think about endurance and stamina and physical perspectives usually, but in the business world, those are incredible attributes, because it really does require, you know, an extended effort and a passion to drive on even when you're tired.
Going up the hill sometimes, they get very steep at times, super challenging.
Totally flat, hot. I think the best way to describe it is one big sweat box. The snow is really reflective, and probably the biggest concern is hydration and sunburn rather than heavy packs or getting hurt or anything like that.
A lot of the guys on the trip are, you know, they've done this before. They really enjoy doing this. You know, my tent mate, Isaiah, you know, he loves this. I mean, he's in his element. I'm totally out of my element. I mean, I don't camp. I mean, I don't even go to, you know, motels.
Energy in the team's pretty high. I think some people want to get there just to continue on the objective. A few other people want to make sure that we get there safely, not because it's dangerous, but, you know, hydrated and fed and that kind of stuff.
So if we can slow down, it really helps us speed up. And I think that in the corporate world, I see this all the time. We are so focused on achievement that oftentimes we forget to look around and find the wisdom from all of the others that we're working with.
I mean, I think we got better at rope movement.
Might have taken a few too many breaks, right? You know, the standing water break was probably a good way to do it.
We're still a little slow getting out of camp, but we're getting better at packing up and stuff. So
A few foot issues, right? But manageable. Got a couple sleeping issues, so might have to pitch in on shared gear and stuff to sort out Nick's air mattress.
you know, when you're doing a team thing, at some point, everybody's going to be sucking at some point. You got to pick up the slack. So I appreciate that.
I would like to see us maybe on a more regular schedule of breaks, instead of like 20 minutes here and then, oh wait, hold on, let me fix this, and oh, I want to do this and stuff. You got to understand when you're in a big group, and I know some of you guys haven't done this stuff as much. You know what I mean? Unless it's something that's like you're getting a giant blister's forming on your foot, or a piece of your gear just fell off, or something that's serious, just wait until you break, and then you fix it then.
You know, when you have 12 guys out here in unknown conditions and at different fitness levels with different experiences, you really have to learn to work together, to communicate well, and to really make sure that everybody is on the same page.
I was trying to tell the guys in the front today, hey, stop in 5 minutes, and everybody in the back kind of heard something. They went, what? And everybody stopped, and then you guys stopped, turned around. I was like, God, that was stupid for me to say that. I should have just let 5 minutes go by and then said stop.
Today just reminded me how important it is to be self-reliant, that you have to be squared away before you can take care of anybody and be reliable. And out here, I mean, it literally is, you know, shelter, food, water. You have to take care of yourself, and you actually have to be faster at it when you're the leader and more efficient.
After we all got it figured out, it was like we're freaking cruising.
Thank you for putting that extra weight in my...
I love you, brother.
I carried a rock, I guess the whole way, right?
So what young Strong Ranger learned today was he will suck it up and drive on. And he did.
It's not so much about the miles as it is about the type of terrain. It's pretty wild out here. There's trails a little bit, but they certainly quickly become just paths. And then after that, there are no paths, no trails of any sort, and you have to navigate for yourself through the terrain, through loose rocks.
Some pretty tough going, and we moved out probably the best that we have so far. Some guys that are suffering a bit, a few injuries, and some people with a little bit low batteries.
We're all better when we are supported by other people that bring different strengths to the team. And so one person can be great at, you know, the map and charting the course. Another one can be great at making sure that everybody is staying in a line that is tracking at a pace that everybody can perform at. We are so much stronger as a team than we are as individuals.
velocity we had today, it worked for us and it made us successful. Some guys sucked it up and drove on hard, even though they knew they were sucking a little bit because they knew the capabilities and limits of the guys around them.
Tents are getting packed up faster, put up faster, packs packed faster, brakes going faster. Teamwork's coming along.
Communication's getting way better. You're seeing much more brevity with the stops, brakes, all that other stuff, versus even compared to yesterday, moving on the glacier where it was like, stop, go, stop, are we stopping? No, we're going, are we stopping? That rarely happened today, and I think that's probably the biggest cause of why we're able to move so fast.
People were really good about asking how you're doing.
It sucks to go faster when you're hurting, so we went faster while you were hurting, so good job for those that are running out of gas.
You know, I slipped and fell and I was okay, but it's no reason to let your guard down here.
Yeah. Today, like a fucking rookie, I lost the map. So if anybody has it or I passed it off and I forgot, let me know. But if not, that thing has gone the way of Davy Jones. So that sucks, man. That's a total Bush League mistake.
You know, while it might not be as cold as other nights, I think it'll be one of the more difficult nights because it's super windy. So the suck factor is going to be going up a little bit.
Almost everything out here we've lost, we've broken it, straps have snapped, and we've had to be very, very resourceful. And we've had to adapt. And the team's done a great job with that.
Dude, I'm down to you, bro. That's it. That's all I got.
Truly impressed with the stick-to-itiveness and the energy that everyone brings to the game. It's about the time when people start getting a little snappy and a little bit tired, but people are going around tent to tent helping people with small blisters or bad sleeping mats. The bottom line is there's a lot of kindness in the group.
And as a result, really worked fabulously as a team.
On day 5, it started out with not only the wind, but the rain, the sleet, the snow, the hail, but it made it pretty miserable pretty fast.
And we're frozen already.
And you could tell that spirits were a little bit low.
It started off really rough.
It threw a couple of us for a loop. It made it really hard to get things done.
Everybody got a little bit cold, a little bit wet, but it all caused us to move a little bit faster and come together better as a team.
Well, we were ready for the storm. We were prepared for that storm, and we handled it as a cohesive unit.
I think we moved faster today than we ever have over some of the most difficult terrain that we moved over.
We had a lot of rocky boulders. We then got onto a glacier where we had to, clip in dark crampons and hike up on that. And then we got off that and we got to an area where we had to ride a zip line across a big river. And from there got hiked down into the forest.
Look at that, man. This is Patagonia.
I got blisters early on in the Crucible, and so had to deal with a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. The way that I was able to manage that was by focusing on the team and what we were there to achieve, not my personal challenges. When you're able to laugh about it,
Eat some real food. Not freeze-dried shit.
when you're able to talk and joke and have some levity, it really minimizes the pressure and the strain and the negative perspective.
We started cracking some jokes. My name was Senor Asshole. Remember that part? And everybody's spirits kind of got going, and I think from then on out, man, we were in a groove.
There's more uphill?
Yes.
Is it less than today?
No.
All right, that sucks.
And getting everybody with a little bit of suck helped kind of gel the team together a bunch.
I think it was you that said it wasn't a Crucible until this morning.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I hate rain. Always have, ever since my early Army days.
You know, what seems to be absolutely horrible isn't that big of a deal.
My gloves were soaked and my hands were freezing.
Wind was really whipping me around, and it was whipping my knee at exactly the wrong angle.
And I was thinking, this is gonna suck. And 5 minutes in, I'm like, I'm okay.
We saw what Patagonia is really like. You know, it's harsh can be an unforgiving place. We really have to be self-reliant.
Everybody's vulnerable, and that's the real key.
Well, it kind of forces you to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah. You're cold, wet, tired, and hungry.
Yep.
You can't put,
No, yeah. There's no.
Say, it's all rosy. It's all great.
Yeah.
You know, when the sales aren't there or the project's not going well, you can't candy coat it. You got to say, this is the reality.
Sometimes leaders need to deceive, manipulate, and lie, and everybody goes gasp. How can that be? But think about it. Out here, would it do any good to complain, bitch, moan when it's sucking? No, you take the whole team down. So what do? You suck it up, and you're like, and the more positive we were outwardly, I think the more positive we got inwardly. I'm really happy to be with you guys. So thanks for everything.
Vamos como, man.
Juan Peligro.
No more.
Uno, dos, tres. You can do it.
Josh is Sergeant Major. And
I'm leading.
Bill's leading. So let's take it easy. We want to finish together. So when we smell the barn, don't bolt, right?
Finishing up 6 days of trekking, circumnavigation of Cerro, Torre, and Fitz.
And I believe that we were successful out here in these intense conditions because we did want to help each other. We were watching each other's back. We did have a supportive system created so people felt comfortable. They felt like they could take risks. We were able to accelerate a high-performing team.
You don't get to be old without being wise.
I can be old and stupid.
No.
I can be old and stupid. Trust me.
That was really well taught.
We set very clear goals. We communicated very well. We made sure we took time to reflect on what was working well and what didn't.
If they're motivated, if the team's motivated, you can go through walls.
When it comes to leading others, the team, that really is about collaboration.
I think that everyone was really mindful of how their role was important and how they couldn't let everybody down.
You know what? These guys are competent. I trust these guys. I'm going to let them do it. And I think the group started to flow much more smoothly towards the end.
It was really intense. There were times where I might have wanted to quit or stop, but the power of the team and the ability to get supported and feel that support motivated me and pushed me further.
We faced some obstacles, and so people stepped up, they helped each other out. If one person raised their hand and said, I need help, you had 5 hands chipping in to say, how can I help? How can we make each other better? To be with a group of amazing men, amazing leaders, amazing people, to go on this crucible, to do something none of us had ever done before, and to go do many things we had never done before and try and work on team development, to go to one of the most challenging weather environments in the world, one of the most beautiful places in the world, and to really find out what we were all made of. But in the end, forged some friendships and some relationships that hopefully impact all of our lives in dramatic ways.